I fixedly stared at my computer screen as I carefully listened to the voice from that YouTube video like my life depended on it. I listened again and again, telling myself it couldn't be possible. Surely it was just some random person with a voice that just so happened to be very similar to mine. Or perhaps I was just getting nervous and my paranoia was tricking my senses into hearing something that didn't correspond with reality. I listened one final time. It was about 2:30 a.m., and I desperately wanted to go to bed. But I had to make sure or else the intrigue wouldn't let me sleep anyways. Yep, now I was convinced. No, I was positive of it. As absolutely nonsensical as it seemed, the voice from that video was none other than my own. Heinrich's Gaming Room. That was the name of the YouTube channel. Heinrich was indeed my name, in fact. I visited this channel because YouTube's algorithm recommended it to me out of nowhere, and I thought it was cool because it had my name and had videos featuring many video games I was familiar with. I was your average 19-year-old college student still living with my parents in Germany. But I wasn't a YouTuber. I admit I had fantasized with the idea several times, especially when I was a young teenager in middle school, but I've never had the sufficient means nor the dedication to pull it off. I had a YouTube profile that I used to subscribe to channels that interested me and maybe leave a comment from time to time, but that was it. So where in the world had this channel come from? As far as the actual content that could be found on Heinrich's Gaming Room went, it mainly consisted of gameplays, as its name suggested. Namely, they were video games from the mid-2000s to early 2010s I had grown up playing. Most of them were games made by the company Nintendo, as I had primarily owned their consoles during my childhood, as opposed to my friends who had always leaned more towards Sony's PlayStation. In regards to their quality, the videos weren't unmatchable per se, but they certainly weren't stellar either. The voiceover that accompanied the gameplays especially ticked me the wrong way, and not just because it was literally my voice, but also because they were done in broken English with a comically exaggerated German accent that almost made me think the channel was trying to be some sort of parody. I could speak English way better than that, I thought. By that point, I was so exhausted, so I decided to call it a day and go to bed. The next day, I checked the mysterious channel once again, and to my surprise, a brand new video had been uploaded as recently as a couple minutes prior. It was the continuation to a gameplay series in which my doppelganger played Yoshi's Island DS, an unfairly overlooked game for the Nintendo DS, which is actually a sequel to the critically acclaimed original Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo. Alright everybody, we are going to continue playing Yoshi's Island DS. We are going to pick up from where we left off the other day at the start of World 2, said an all too familiar voice in its characteristic German accent. They then continued playing the game normally, making a few unremarkable comments here and there, until they said something that sent shivers down my spine. Funny story, I first played this game back when I was 7 years old, and I bought it from my good friend Dieter. He actually sold it to me for €2 in the middle of the school playground. I still have the original box for the game, and it still has Dieter's name written on it, the voice said before letting out a light chuckle. My body trembled in shock as I listened to the voice in disbelief. It was true. All of it was true. I still remembered that day as if it had been yesterday. I remember how Dieter almost got caught by our teacher trying to sneak the game inside the school. I remembered how he wanted to sell it to me because his grandmother thought all video games were compatible with all consoles, so she bought him a Nintendo DS game even though he had a PSP. I remember Dieter's name written on the game's box. Just to make sure, I went to check the drawer in my bedroom where I kept my old toys and video games. There it was. The very same box containing the game Yoshi's Island DS. It had faded considerably with time, but it could still be seen. On the back of the box was a name written in blue marker, Theater. One side of my brain instructed me to stop watching. It would have been the most comfortable option, but my curiosity prevailed. I needed to keep watching. I needed to know what was going on and figure out who this imposter was. Before advancing to the next stage, I want to go back to World 1 because one of my subscribers commented on the previous video saying I had missed a red coin on a previous level. The imposter explained. It was then when I decided to check out the comments section to see who was watching those videos, only to find there were no comments, no views, no likes, nothing. And it's not like they were disabled or anything. I could leave a comment if I wanted to, and yet there were no comments. I checked his other videos, and the same was true. No one was watching this, so what in the world was he talking about? Alright, guys, we've reached the end of the episode, but before you leave, I want to make a special announcement. Our next gameplay will take a bit longer than usual to come out because tomorrow I'm going to be organizing a special live stream to show my gratitude for all your support. I'm going to show my face for the first time ever, so I hope to see you all there. The voice announced before ending the video. You can bet as soon as I jumped out of bed the following day, I checked my phone to see if the live stream had begun. Not yet. The channel's most recent video was still the one from the previous day. I'd subscribed to the channel, that way I would receive a notification as soon as the stream would go live, so I decided to just go about my day normally and wait until the notification arrived. My parents went shopping later that evening, leaving me home alone. It was then that my phone finally notified me. The live stream had begun. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my special live stream. The voice greeted their audience, which only consisted of myself. That's right. I was the only person watching that live stream. Judging by what could be seen on the recording, they were apparently outdoors, standing in what looked like a garden. A suspiciously familiar garden. Now, I see all your comments begging me to reveal my face, but first, I wanted to take you on a little tour and show you my house. They said before they moved their camera to focus on a house located right in front of them. My house. I frantically looked out the window trying to spot them, but the garden was empty. They weren't there. And yet, the live stream clearly showed them, standing right in front of my house. I continued watching on my phone as they approached the front door of the house and entered the building. Once again, the stream clearly showed them opening the door and stepping inside a house which looked identical to mine, but I didn't see or hear anyone opening any door outside of the live stream. So yeah, welcome to my house. Here we have the kitchen, the living room. It's nothing special, but it's home. The voice said as they walked around an exact replica of my house. I checked every room and every corner of the house in an attempt to find them, to no avail. Alright, my dear subscribers, I'm gonna head to my bedroom where I normally film my videos, and once I get there, I'll finally reveal how I look like, they announced, once again speaking as if plenty of people were watching them even though I was the only spectator. I simply stood inside my bedroom with my eyes glued to the phone, horrified. I started hearing them. Footsteps. Someone was approaching my bedroom. And here we are. Welcome to my bedroom, the voice said as they opened the bedroom's door. And this time, I saw it open too. But inexplicably, I could not see them. I could only hear their footsteps and watch as the door opened and closed seemingly on its own. Look at me! Aren't I beautiful? The voice said as they filmed a terrified 19-year-old with a phone in hand, staring towards the camera in horror, as I screamed to the top of my lungs. The next day arrived, and I got out of bed excited by the splendid reception my live stream had received. There were hundreds of comments from my subscribers congratulating me on how successful Heinrich's gaming room was becoming. Wasting no time, I quickly got to work and began recording my next gameplay video. I don't want to keep my loyal audience waiting, after all.